a big Marvel movie or a big movie with dragons and lots of sound effects and all of that, it's sort of nice to have a small story that just comes in and it's told about people you know and circumstances you know. It really is a miracle to be able to do something with very little time and very little money and have it turn out. It's so much fun. You know, it's just so much fun, and it couldn't happen to nicer people because Tracy Lehman, who this is her story, she's just the great captain of a pirate ship. She goes onto a film set and she just takes command and she knows what she wants. And I think she created a beautiful little poem here.
Okay. And Fringe, your character, Robert, if there ever was a guy, I watched a bit of it now, that was probably self-centered in terms of me, all about me. Robert would tick the
Yeah.
bill. He looks after number one the whole time, dare I say, and everyone comes in second place after Robert.
That's right, you know, and so the trick is to make him human and not just some sort of mustache twisting monster. You know, I think with certain people, you know, they look at themselves as the hero of their own story. And so to Robert Trevino, you know, he's not somebody who's selfish. You know, he's somebody who the movie is about him. And by the end, hopefully the audience will realize, you know, how thankless his daughter was and how what he was doing for her all along. But it's really fun. It's really fun to play something like that because you know, I'll play a lot of other things, but Tracy was sort of brave to cast me out of character, and so it's been great fun, great fun.
Yeah, I almost got the sort of a feel in terms of you that this was the dad that wanted it all, that had high aspirations in life, and maybe that Lily, his daughter, could never meet his own high aspirations, no matter what she did, no matter what successes. He always raised the bar that too high for her.
That's exactly correct. And, you know, he's always going to blame things on her. And, you know, he's going to turn it around so that it's her fault. And I think everybody has one or two people in their lives that gaslight them, that make them feel like they're maybe crazy. And after a while, they're like, well, no, it's not me, it's you. What's going on? But I think that that's what's lovely about the story is that. You know, you have the family that you're dealt, and then you have your chosen family, the people that you choose to surround yourself with. And sometimes you are able to cover holes in your life with other people who come in and do jobs in your life that maybe a certain family member is just not equipped to do. And I think that that's what I love about the movie is that it's universal. I don't think there's one family that doesn't, you know, try and balance personalities. No, but I think at the end of it, it's really hopeful and it's really healing. No,
And the casting is quite clever because if you told me that you would put John Leguizamo and French Stewart in the same room and that they would both have the same sort of surname but be total different people, it wouldn't sort of strike a bell in terms of that's a good sort of chemistry. But it really works in this sort of movie as well. And dare I say it's because you're so different maybe as actors yourself and John.
yeah, yes, and he's you know, John Leguizamo is he's a lovely, he's just such a beautiful man. You know, he could do anything he wants, but he comes in and he does this very small movie where there's not a ton of money up front. And he does it because you know, he comes from the theater and he values uh good entertainment and good stories. And along the way, we get Barbie Ferreira, who I think is a magical human being. And what you see in the movie, this person that can just unzip themselves and show their humanity to an audience. I think it's a miraculous. It's a trick. It's an amazing trick, and it's not always like that. And so when you land in one, you just really have to appreciate it. And so, no, it's just lovely to watch.
Yeah. And French, how did this opportunity arrive at your doorstep? Was it did the producing casting director Tracy, did he reach out to you through various contexts? And did you have to be
Well,
persuaded to come on board or?
oh no, no, it happened because Tracy Lehman, my wife Vanessa, is a writer,
Okay.
and they have a writing group where they work on each other's things on Zoom. And during COVID, I would come in because the writers needed actors to read their stuff. And so I saw it kind of growing from the get-go. And at first I read John Leguizamo's part. I was good Bob Trevino. And
Okay.
then she said, try the other one. And then I tried the other one. And then she said, oh, I want you to do that one. And so I thought, well, great. But, in Hollywood or in show business, casting somebody out of type it's hard. It's hard to get people to say okay to. And she just fought for me, and she fought for me, and so I ended up coming in, and then it sparks a whole different side of yourself. It's really a gift from Tracy to me, and I just can't wait because I'm just such a big fan of Tracy Lehman's. I think she's going to make beautiful films for a very long time.
Yeah. And I got a feeling watching you, I could relate to maybe some of the early sort of dad work that Brian Cranston did in terms of that. There were sort of
Yeah.
similarities there in terms of that sort of ego sort of trip, and you're sort of playing the character. It was very sort of well done, and it just goes to show you that a real slick production. It doesn't need those. Daredevil backdrops or those highliners
No.
or the flashing sort of lights. If it's a good story and can keep you engaged, that's what all movies is about, really, is telling a story. It's being
Well,
engaged from start to finish.
that's exactly it. I mean, you can spend a ton of money on a great album or a great song, but every now and then, like a nice little just solid punk rock nugget that costs nothing, it touches your heart as well. And so I think that's what we were all trying to do. A lot of us were coming from the theater too, where we would it's a small group of people telling a story for another group of people. And I think that's what this felt like, just very pure and exactly where you want to be. And it just wasn't about money.
Yeah, and you're telling this story, and obviously there's a deep sort of connection there. You can see that it's really you were blossoming in terms of the beginning, and it probably touched an awful lot of your souls in terms of vested interest. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams, because there's so many independent movies and films out there, and so many festivals, that to get nationwide, to get national is a massive achievement for most movies, but to go international in terms of a small indie sort of production, that's a very tough sort of a feat to accomplish. So, how delighted are you that now that Bob Trevino Likes It is going to be seen outside of America and Canada?
It's everything to me. But the thing is that I have great belief in it because we've showed it to so many different kinds of people, older people. My daughter is 11. She saw it and she really loved it. And I think that simple, universal themes speak to people if they're told to them well and authentically and organically, and they recognize themselves in the other characters or in their family. And I think that I think a lot of it has to do with Tracy. I think a lot of it has to do with her vision for this and just willing it to happen. She willed everything to happen. She willed me a job. She willed the casting that she wanted, and then through times where the weather is bad and you lose a day, she willed it. And so I just feel, it's funny, I just I'm in my early 60s now, and I was thinking like, oh, I'm starting to wind down, and I'm looking at what I do, and suddenly you have a third act thrust upon you, and it's just half of it is luck and the diligence of another human being. It's amazing, it's amazing.
Yeah, it almost feels like the way you're talking French that this has opened new doors again that you possibly thought couldn't have been opened.
Oh, it absolutely has, and I've never made any pretense about it. My entire career, I always wanted to take the best job in front of me and be a journeyman and just keep moving. And if it was theater and it wasn't paying, I'd take it. And if it was the next good thing was maybe not a great script, but a little bit of money, I'd take it. And all I wanted to do was really make my insurance and keep moving. And so there were times where you would do art for art's sake. There were times where you did a money job. And very rarely does something overlap to where just it's just your sweet spot and it's just everything you love about what you started doing when you were 18.
Mm.
And it just wakes you up and it revitalizes you. And so that's nice, you know. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, it almost feels like talking to you that this is like a second coming of Fringe Stewart as well. The optimism is bubbling at with you. You can see it really, the enthusiasm. This has really invigorated you, this project.
Oh, it really has. You know, it really has. You know, and it's you know, there are two things. I mean, I've got an 11-year-old daughter and she keeps me awake. I've got a wife that I love, and that's really great. We just moved from Los Angeles to Atlanta just to get a change of scenery. But it has invigorated me because like, you know, sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm old dad. I'm always the oldest dad at the school, you know, because she was born when I was 50. I had one sperm left, and he dog paddled his way to victory, my friend. But now, you know, you get this great wake up, and I just feel I feel happy, and I feel like this is just something great, and it's just opened up a lot of doors, and so you know, I've still got a little bit of motion left in me.
Yeah, yeah. And with that motion, you got to visit Ireland sometime in the near future, French.
I would love to. Hey, what are you going to do for a St. Patrick's Day? Are you going to get knee deep in it, or are you going to stay away on amateur night?
I think we are our rugby team is going for the big Six Nations tournament. We're playing the Italians there tomorrow. So if we win that, we win the competition. We win the Euros of rugby. So there'll be a very much celebrations there after that. So it's so a big sort of looking on that. It's a big sporting event in here in Ireland. So
That's
hope we
great.
keep that and then we can celebrate as a country.
No, that's good luck. Good luck to you. You have a purpose with it. You know, here's St. Patrick's Day. It just means that secretaries who normally don't drink, they get hammered and they end up holding their hair while they throw up in the can. Ah, what are you gonna do? It's amateur night here,
Yeah.
so you know. I'm hoping that you and your people will show the world how it's done.
True, 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 true. I think we've become more refined. We're so used to it over the years. It's almost like a new occasion for the rest of the world. But here in Ireland, we just think, well, it's been going on so long time. It's almost like Christmas Day for us
Yeah,
here in terms of that. French,
I love it. I love it.
French. As well, you mentioned before we came on air that you might have some other projects that might be coming our way later in 2025 that you might have a bit of disclosure, if anything might be
Yeah,
coming.
I'm doing a TV role that's extended on Chicago Med, which is a lovely it's just a lovely show. I've got a screenplay that's about to get made into a movie, and that will be coming, but I'm not going to tell you anything yet.
Yep.
And also I'm an Etch-a-Sketch artist. And so I've put together some of my Etch-a-Sketch art, and I'm gonna hopefully put that into a book soon. And things are just lively and great, and I'm just enjoying this time right now.
Okay, perfect. So, French Stewart, I'll turn it over to you now for the final 30 seconds. You might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners, why they should go out and master the selected cinema screens, whatever streaming platforms that might come out in the next week or two, to see Bob Trevino Likes It. And when they do, in particular in the cinemas, when they roll up by plane, train, automobile, arrive in that cinema, get their popcorn, their Pepsi, their candy, roll onto the cinema seat, kick off the shoes, the recliner, the credits start rolling on the screen. Bob Trevino Likes It comes on, they see French Stewart. What's in store for them?
I think that what you're going to see is a beautiful movie about found family and redemption and growth, and it's a very personal movie, but I think it's really important to see a small movie on a big theater because you don't get that as much anymore. And I will appeal to your poetic Irish hearts. Uh, Go in there, take your wife, take your friends, sit down, get your popcorn, get your drink, and just be told a story. And by the end of it, I think that it's the sort of thing where you feel emotion, but it's happy. And I think that we could all use that in the world because we get enough bad news all the time. Give yourself